My topic is data management in structural engineering experiment grid. Introduction. The structural engineering experiment grid has a massive amount of heterogeneous data spread across multiple experimental sites. This paper outlines a conceptual model of experimental data and structural engineering. Experimental data management work is presented to handle both organized and unstructured data based on this conceptual model. Furthermore, the variability of structured data, which C means the structural engineering experiment data management framework may overcome, is examined in depth. Finally, the structural engineering experimental data management system site, which is part of the C grid, is shown. Structural engineering experiments always generate huge amounts of data, which can be divided into two types. One is experimental management information and experimental results information. First one is, in the case the experimental procedure was managed by information and includes the fundamentals of experimentation, the configuration information submitted by users created by the experimental manager, and information about experimental locations. The structured data can be used to store information examining the common characteristics of management experimentation process and experimental results information. In this, it's the outcomes of data obtained by observation devices during the experiment. These data are frequently kept as files because they have no general organization and are also always huge. Users that use result data in SEC grid must understand how they are generated, or the data will be useless. As a result, these files must be linked to their appropriate management data. This study summarizes a conceptual model of structural engineering experiment data based on the aforesaid analysis. The model's details are depicted in next figure. Below the different sites, structure may differ slightly, so keep that in mind. In this, the conceptual model of experimental data, the project, the experiment 1 to n, the submitted info, strategy 1, strategy n, load strategy, measure strategy, component strategy, results files. Architecture of this HTTP SOAP, and we all use this data management service suite, universal JDBS file, repository service suite, user system administrators, data access portlet. This framework secures data with GSI authentication and transfers it via grid FTP. Information on experimental management is available. Results files are saved in a file and are stored in a relational database. Both of them can be accessible through the corresponding system services. Structural engineering experiment grid portal. It is the point of entry and it has two main functions: data access portal and file transfer portal. File searching, replica locating, data upload, and data download are some of the key tasks of data access portal, which is responsible for the interactive business logic between data management system and the user. Data transfer and conversion of grid from grid to HTTPS are handled by the file transfer portal. GSI authentication comes with the authority partitioning among distinct users as well as security authentication. And next, repository service suite. By using the packet pattern, RSS make the portal's access to the service transparent. The inner system function interface the unified into RSS and handled centrally. RSS uses the function interfaces to produce portal accessible application interfaces. Structural engineering but data management service. It is in charge of relational database access. It provides consistent interfaces for accessing databases. So the higher layer doesn't have to worry about the specifics of how databases are connected. And structural engineering metadata service, structural engineering file management service, structural engineering data source integration service. For concluding, this research suggested a grid-enabled framework named Engineering Experimental Data Management Framework, based on the experimental data model to manage and share experimental data in SEE grid. The variability of experimental data can be discussed using that MF was used to create a data management system that allows users to quickly access heterogeneous experiment data. The data management system will be upgraded in the future and query speed will be improved. A semantic oriented data management mechanism will be implemented. Thank you for giving this opportunity.